Yo, what's up, world? We're back another week, another edition of Versus. Your boy Honey K, right here in your face. Now, this week was kind of interesting, right? So, sitting to the crib, you know what I'm saying? I was able to run across motherfucking Zack Snyder's, I think it's the Justice League, his version of it, like the director's cut, like that black and white shit. I don't usually do black and white movies, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm a TV connoisseur and that shit kind of like baffles me like nowadays in the stage of 4K and all of the technology like that, they would still even make shit in black and white. But I will say this, man, that shit was slide, man. Y'all go check that out. Zack Snyder's Justice League. The Justice is great. That shit was cool. But anyway, watching that, it kind of got me thinking, you know what I mean? And, obviously, I grew up, with the superheroes, you know what I'm saying, watching like the Batman, Supermans, all that. And since this whole season been kind of on a geographical note, you know what I mean, I went to thinking it's like out of the areas, out of the regions that a lot of these heroes operate in, it's like which one would you consider like more dangerous, or like which place would be more safer? And you got Flash in Central City, you got all these other places, but the ones that kind of stuck to mind, like it was a hard debate because at first I was thinking, should I do? Obviously, Gotham City is going to be one of the most popular ones, but I was trying to think of what could I compare to Gotham City. Now, Hell's Kitchen, if any of y'all seen Daredevil, you know what I'm saying? Like Hell's Kitchen to me is comparable to Gotham City. And then there's Metropolis with Superman. So sat down, did a whole lot of thinking, you know what I'm saying? Had Kasai with Pache the Bay, you know what I'm saying? Got some input in, like we just sat down, was trying to think of like what would be a good way to like, you know what I mean, figure out which one to compare them to. And what it eventually came down to, just because like I said, that Zack Snyder shit was fresh in my mind, we're gonna do it like this. Gotham City versus Metropolis. We're gonna hit the ins and outs, the goods, the bads, like which one is safer, which one is more dangerous, which one you would rather live in, which one that you wouldn't want to be in, what's gonna like have more threats on your life, which one's gonna net you the most prosperity, this, that, and the third. On this week's edition of Versus. See you on the other side. Cheers.
There's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there.
Nah, I definitely agree with that shit. Damn, Beretta, man. Fuck. Bro, I know you got bicycle, man, but you gotta think sometimes. Shit. Some of this shit don't even call for. Bro, I was talking to my niggas on the wall. Listen, mirror on the wall. Who the really nigga in it?
Cool. My bad. That was on me. Now we back. So, now, we're going to start this one off with motherfucking Gotham City. Gotham City is the New York region. I mean, the name itself is hard as fuck. Gotham. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck came up with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoever came up with that definitely, if they're not already rich, they need to be rich. They need to get paid for that, because that shit is like trademark, stand out like a motherfucker. Now, comparing Gotham City to Metropolis, right? It was very hard because I was trying to figure out which one was more comparable. Should I do it Gotham City to Metropolis or Gotham City to Hell's Kitchen? Because Hell's Kitchen, like, if anybody familiar with like the Punisher, Daredevil, Spider-Man, all of that takes place. That's like the Marvel's version. Their heroes, they actually have their own section, which actually, believe it or not, is a real place, like real on the map geographically. Hell's Kitchen. It's a section of New York, believe it or not. That shit is for real, for real. But as I was looking back over, comparing all of those, Marvel does have a lot of popularity. They have a good storyline, but the Hell's Kitchen version isn't like their like top of the line heroes, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like the superstars of their universe. Batman, for no no argument, there's no debate, is one of the top superstars of the DC universe. Gotham City is probably the most recognizable city in the whole comic book superhero era. You know what I mean? Now that we got that out the way, Gotham City, if you want to look at it as far as some of the dangers of it, the first thing I would say is just the criminals alone. Now, I always make the argument that Batman is just a person with a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Which is actually, in today's age, not that uncommon. There's a lot of motherfuckers, especially up there in that area, that's boohoo, stupid, dumb, fucking rich, you know what I mean? But they never really specify the actual dollar amount that Bruce Wayne actually has. So to me, that lets you know that his money is just on some whole other shit. So he resides in Gotham City with stupid money, you know what I'm saying? Bachelor playboy by day. I mean, like, shit, the comic books may not really get into too many details, but if you really follow it, Batman fuck a bunch of bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Bruce Wayne side of Batman fucks a bunch of bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Really follow that shit, you know what I mean? That's why he don't have no attachments, you know what I'm saying? It's like you never really gonna see him, like, really, like, in love, you know what I mean? Nothing like that. It's not like how Superman got the Lois Lane. Batman just be all over the place with that shit. Even with Robin, it was hard for him to even really get close to Robin because he don't really do attachment. I think the closest thing that Batman may be attached to might be fucking Alfred, you know what I mean? And that's because, like, he grew up with Alfred, especially, like, when his parents died. But back to the actual city of Gotham. If you take Batman as the hero, as the good side, you know what I'm saying, with the bat signal and all that shit, like, because I love that bat signal shit. That shit is like trademark, like I was saying earlier. But think of the different fucking villains, like, on top of just the regular mafia that's always around in that area. First of all, between the Joker, the Penguin, Bane, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, the Riddler, Dr. Freeze, like, this motherfucker got so many fucking villains. Like, that shit has a list of characters just on the villain side that all resides in Gotham City, and at any given time it could be up to any given thing. You know what I mean? So, the other thing that I would point out is during the daytime, if you a daytime person, like if you, like, you know, go to work and you go to the park, play ball or whatever, and do a lot of things like in the daytime, and you're really not a night owl and you don't hang out much, you might actually find Gotham City to be relatively safe. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is most of the things that you see, especially like in the comics, the cartoons, and even in like the more recent live movies, Gotham City's like danger settings mostly take place at night, because if anybody follows the stories, like, Batman is he uses the darkness as part of his fear. You know what I'm saying? As part of, like, mechanism. He uses fear as a weapon. You know what I mean? So it's like he patrols the night and he good at that shit. Now I'm talking about Birdie be popping up out of nowhere. He like be watching everything. Got these big tall ass buildings and you never know which one he on top of. Nigga got stupid money, so it's like he got so many gadgets and gadgets to, like, you just don't know what he might pull out next. You know what I mean? But it's so many criminals per square mile in Gotham City. It's almost like if you doing any type of dirt in Gotham City, it's like a different type of dirt than anywhere else. Because it's like, fuck the police. The police is on a whole lesser level. You know what I mean? It's like the shit they do in Gotham is beyond the police. You know what I mean? But I also want to point this out about Gotham City too, as an aside. When you think of Gotham City seems like some shit where it's more frequent. Like, I'm talking about almost with all of these different big villains and all of these different characters all got shit going on. It's amazing how Batman could even keep up with that shit. How Detective Gordon could even keep up with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that Batman is a regular person just with a lot of money, I think that adds intrigue. That adds intrigue to the fact that damn, he's one bullet away, or he's one person away from finding out his identity to just kind of like ending his shit. And think about his villains. For the most part, his villains are also regular people. They just deranged, stupid, crazy ass people, but they not like superhuman, super strength, this and that. The Joker, Bane, which he do got like them tubes and shit that run through him, like giving him a little extra strength or whatever. But the Penguin, the Joker, the Riddler, for the most part, like they human, regular flesh people. You know what I mean? It's not like they got like a bunch of superpowers either. But they do a bunch of fucking crime. Now, speaking of crime, another thing that kind of sets Gotham City and puts it on its own little level, right, is the main leader, the main ringleader of the villains is my favorite villain of all the villains of all the fucking universes put together, is the Joker. Because the Joker don't want shit. The Joker is not your typical villain like, oh, he want to like take over the world, or like Brainiac who wants to conquer worlds, or fucking Darkseid who wants to like be the ruler. He's a god. He like controls the whole universe and all that shit. The Joker simply just want to fuck with people. Like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't really have a motive or a goal or anything that can be like leveraged or bargained with. So that in itself makes him dangerous as fuck. And on top of that, the Joker has been known to create criminals out of ordinary people. If you follow the story with Harvey Dent, Two-Face was created by the Joker just on some bucket. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all think Harvey Dent, this cool district attorney who's gonna like right all the wrongs of the city, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna show y'all how easy it is to corrupt and make people do his bidding. Now, Maroni and all these other like mafioso type guys, that's gonna be, especially in a lot of these high populated cities, that's gonna be pretty common. But the fact that even the mafia has to kind of like take a backseat to some of the criminals that they got going on in Gotham, like that puts Gotham in a different like ballpark. Now, with all that being said, like I said, all of that stuff most times than not is a nighttime occurrence. So like I say, like on the safer side, they do have a lot of things. Like I said, like at the Gotham City University, they got like football teams, they got like activities during the day. They seem to have a lot of equity. And the fact that Bruce Wayne's company has been successful for so long, and his parents, before they died, was also very, very successful. And you got the mafia and all that being very successful. What it tells me is that there's a lot of money also in Gotham City. Like, even though that shit looks like dangerous and all you really see is like the murky underbelly of Gotham City, you get the inference that that shit has money falling out the fucking sky to fund these motherfuckers. Like, a robber can't rob a motherfucker who don't have money to be robbed of. You know what I mean? So it's enough work to keep these criminals busy in Gotham City. You know what I mean? So now that we got Gotham City pretty much described, now we're gonna go and discuss the other side of the river and go over here to Metropolis and compare these two. Whoa. Now, like I was saying, as far as villains, the Joker is by far my favorite villain. DC, Marvel, all that shit. The Joker is my favorite villain. Darkseid being a close second. Magneto being a close third. But the Joker is my favorite villain, besides in Gotham City. But now we're gonna go to where my favorite hero out of all the heroes. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even put him on the same like level with the rest of the heroes, because he's something totally different. He on his own level, you know what I mean? And that's Superman, and he resides over in Metropolis. Now, the thing with Metropolis, right? If you take everything I just said about Gotham City, all of that is well and true. on its face value, you would look at Metropolis and see all the things that happen in Gotham City, and your first reaction would be is to assume that Metropolis must be a safe haven compared to all the criminals and all of the underbelly that goes on in Gotham City. And to a certain extent, you would be right. But, as my man Stephen A. Smith on First Take always says, a dead clock can be right twice a day. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. No, you don't have the number of criminals. You don't have I guess, the different functions of organized crime and all of the things that you would have in Gotham City transpiring in Metropolis. But what you do have in Metropolis is big shit. You know what I'm saying? You got bigger, more dangerous shit. For example, I was alluding to the fact that Batman's a regular person. Most of his villains, for the most part, are regular people. Superman is an alien. Superman ain't human. And if you pay attention, Superman don't even fight regular people. Most of Superman's enemies are aliens as well, with the exception of Lex Luthor. Now, Lex Luthor, the reason why I wanted to make sure I touched on Lex Luthor is because Bruce Wayne in Gotham City, they don't speak on the number on his account. Like, they don't tell you exactly how much money he worth, how much money he's spending, this, that, and the third. They just leave you to infer that he got enough money to do whatever the fuck he want, however he want. The flip side is Lex Luthor is also the same on that regard. They don't speak on his actual dollar amount. They don't speak on exactly like how much he's spending. Difference is Bruce Wayne, he fuck bitches and he used his money to develop a whole bunch of shit to fight crime. Lex Luthor, he developed his money and he got all these resources to stop aliens. You know what I mean? Like, he has the intellectual prowess of a fucking genius of epic proportions. And he's the antagonist or the villain of one of the most powerful people on the fucking planet in Superman. You know what I mean? Just think about that for a second. Superman goes up against like Doomsday, Darkseid, Brainiac. All of these people are from different worlds. Like, the majority of Superman's villains would kill Batman within the first like 2 or 3 minutes. It wouldn't even be like a fight. You know what I mean? And just like I was pointing out in Gotham City, if you're a daytime person, you probably would be relatively safe. But in Metropolis, it's completely the opposite. Superman is powered by the sun. He gets his rejuvenation from the sun. He can't operate at night. But the shit that Superman ends up dealing with most of the time is a threat that's beyond any street shit type threat. It's usually gonna be motherfuckers from different worlds coming, trying to like really take the whole fucking earth or like take over the world type shit. You know what I mean? So the reason I brought that up is they don't give a fuck if it's nighttime or this and that, because they not trying to hide. Like, when Darkseid come, he not hiding. He not doing this shit in the shadows of night and all of that so he don't get caught. Some niggas do that shit in broad fucking day. Like, Brainiac come through in broad fucking day. Like, Doomsday, broad fucking day. And Lex Luthor, he operates under the assumption that he wants to take Superman down. And he knows that Superman is active during the day as well. So I think, like, if you're a daytime person and you're out and about, it's gonna be way more dangerous for you in Metropolis because they don't give a fuck about like the time. It could be like 6, 7 in the morning. Like, it could be lunchtime. You could be on your lunch break. Like, if they want to come through and invade some shit, they coming through and invading some shit. Like, when General Zod like tracked down Kal-El and he found out where he was, I don't give a fuck what time it is. Here we come. You know what I mean? But with that also being said, the way they fight is also different. Because like I was saying, most of the time you're not dealing with humans. When Batman come operate and when he come and like apply his level or his style of justice, it's usually gonna be like within a room. He done like snuck in that bitch, stuck in the building, kicked in the window or something. He and that bitch, like they fighting, they shooting at him, and you know what I'm saying? He gonna do it, boom, 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 boom. Might tear up a room or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Furniture, all that shit. When Superman and his villains go at it, your ass can't even be within the same vicinity. Like, these motherfuckers going through buildings, they throwing cars, they throwing trucks, like, shit is falling, shit blowing up. Every time you see him fight a bitch, right? Look at how much shit get destroyed. That's why I say, like, in Gotham, it's more constant. Like, every other night, Batman got to fight a bitch. Like, Superman, I don't think bro got to fight a bitch every day. You know what I'm saying? Him and Lois be kicking at Lois Lane, you know what I'm saying? She be leaving the window and shit open. And I ask yourself this. The man, as Clark Kent, as, you know, that's his regular person, alter ego. All he do is put on some fucking glasses, right? It's not like he really hides who the fuck he is. But she leave that fucking window open because, you know, Superman can fly. So apparently I'm saying that to say, like, it's not like they just be hanging out, going, you know, to the Daily Planet and, like, you know, going out to lunch. But he fucking, you know what I mean? Like, that's what she leaving the window open for. Like, he doing his thing. But that attachment is something that Batman don't have. Because that Gotham City shit is way too many criminals for him to get attached to, because them motherfuckers are key in on that. You know what I mean? Like his parents. They took his parents out when he was like little. Like, Superman's parents was able to, like, you know, his mom's still with him. I think his dad died of like old age or something like that. I think it was, forgot what it was, but he still, for the most part, he has attachments. But the Metropolis level of danger is more severe and more spectacular. It's more big, but it's less common. But I would say, as far as the everyday individual, you would have a better chance from day to day knowing the layout of Gotham City, because that shit is consistently like that. You know what I mean? Metropolis, I couldn't imagine it being consistently like that, because when they do fight, it's so big and epic and violent, so that couldn't happen on a consistent basis, or you wouldn't have nice buildings, you wouldn't have nice scenery, because they would still be busy trying to, you know, fix the shit from the previous altercations. You know what I mean? And like I said, when they fight, man, they not tearing up no room, bro. They tearing up city blocks. They tearing up businesses, establishments. Now, as far as that's concerned, I would say from a citywide, even though it doesn't happen as often as in Gotham City, you're going to be put at risk just because you can be well out of the framework of where the actual showdown is going down. But because they flying and going through buildings and all that, the debris is going to be probably the more dangerous part of Metropolis. Now, as far as sophistication, from everything that I've read and looked up, Metropolis looks, now I could be wrong now, because I know a lot of y'all comic heads and a lot of y'all who like really be into the comic books and y'all really have detail for detail. Y'all might know more than I do about this, because I'm just going off of my upbringing and all that. It just looks like Metropolis is more modernized, it's more like scientific, it's more futuristic than Gotham City. You know what I mean? To me, like, that's just what it looked like, because everything just looks so kind of sci-fi-ish, you know what I mean? But with that being said, it's like, it also lends to more damage. It lends to, like, if the buildings are more expensive and they getting tore up more frequently, then it just strikes me as their property damage would well be more than in Gotham City. So what I'm trying to say is, you will have a better chance of having nice things in Gotham City versus having nice things in Metropolis. Could you imagine if you like rich and you decide you want to live in Metropolis and you get you a fucking condo like on the fucking very top penthouse of a fucking skyscraper. The next thing you know, fucking Superman fighting some alien from somewhere and a bitch then threw him through your fucking building and he done fucking got knocked through the whole under structure and your shit might collapse. Okay? He might save you, he might not can't save you, feel me? Like, you can't pay me to bleed, he's saving every motherfucking body. You know what I mean? So, and in Batman case, he really don't be trying to save a certain individual. He just be trying to stop the criminal. You know what I mean? Now, it also lends to if you're a night person, like if you like more of the club scene and hanging out, and I'm gonna say it like this too. If you like the ordinary criminal, like the drug dealers, the pimps and shit like that, you probably would fare better in Metropolis because that night scene, that nightlife is kind of beneath Superman. Like, he ain't gonna be wasting his time like stopping just drug dealers and shit like that, because his shit way more epic, you know what I mean? He got way bigger fish to fucking fry. But the reason why I brought all that up is that I would say, as far as from a safe value, believe it or not, because I know the obvious thought would be that Metropolis would seem a little safer just because Gotham City got all of these villains. They got the higher number of villains. But I would say in actuality, in all totality, I think that Gotham City actually ends up being safer than Metropolis based on collateral damage. And what I mean by that is, in Gotham City, if the Joker or a Penguin or Bane or the Riddler or Dr. Freeze or whoever the fuck the villain decides to kill you, then they kill you and you dead. But Batman's more than likely gonna be on top of that shit. He'll be there. In Metropolis, even if Darkseid or Brainiac or whoever the fuck Superman fighting, even if they don't personally kill you, the fallout from they fight might kill you. You know what I mean? It's like, think about that shit. Like, he's shooting lasers and shit out his eyes. They throwing cars and shit at each other. You know how easy it is for a piece of that shit to break off and like hit your ass in the head, or a fucking big piece of fucking roof collapse in. Like, some shit might not even have nothing to do with like your actual area that you in. You know what I mean? Like, these motherfuckers be fighting. Like, just watch that shit. Like, so I would think that because it happens less frequently, that people would kind of get the mindset that that Gotham City is more dangerous. But I say that Metropolis is probably more dangerous. Now, if you ask me to sum it all up, if you ask me, Metropolis versus Gotham City, which one would I rather live in if I had to live in one? Me personally, I probably would pick Gotham City. I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because I'm a night person, and I feel like this. I'd rather deal with people that's people. Because it comes down to one or two things. Either they gonna beat your ass, or you gonna beat their ass. Either they gonna kill you, or you gonna kill them. When you start talking about that shit in motherfucking Metropolis, it's beyond your control. It's beyond your ramifications. There's nothing you can do, no, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the type that I don't like not having no type of control over nothing. Now, that's where I would live out of those two. Now, if you ask me the question of which one is the most safer, I think that also goes to Gotham City, believe it or not. So, that's 2 for Gotham City, 0 for Metropolis. Love Metropolis, love Superman. Superman's my dude, Superman's my guy. But they be tearing up shit, man. I'm talking about like they fuck the city up. Like every time they fight, you know what I mean? So, even though they don't fight as often, that shit way more dangerous over there. So, that was pretty fun, man. Cause like I said, I like that superhero shit, that comic book shit, man. That shit is cool. And I felt like because I did something similar to this on that DC versus Marvel way back in season 1, you feel me? But this right here was a little more different because like this whole season 2 is like kind of geographical. So I think that was a good way to tie that geographicness into it. So I think Gotham City, even though it's way more popular than Metropolis to me now, it's just because that name rings out. I also do believe that overall, if you comparing it to Metropolis, I believe overall it is more safer. This been your boy 100K, man. You watching S.S.B.G Network. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. This has been Versus. Follow me next week, Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. We're going to have another topic. We doing this shit. We ain't going nowhere. Check it out. I'll holler at y'all. Peace out.